Thanks so much, Brody. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And with that, welcome everyone to this special edition of Teal Town After Dark, the NHL All-Star Game. This is Teal Town All-Star After Dark, folks. I hope you're having a good time, and I hope you had a wonderful evening with this one. If you want to be part of the show, by all means, you know how to do. Use that hashtag TealTownUSA, but better yet, if you want to, just join us in the chat. Join fellow hockey fans and fanatics in the YouTube chat live on the page or the app, or you follow us at TealTownUSA. And of course, follow us on our social medias all over the place: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Hi, everyone. I am Eric Cura. You can always follow me at PuckGuy14. Want to sincerely apologize for logistical reasons. Let's put it this way: Wi-Fi. We all know we can make fun of my AOL jokes and all that fun stuff, but trying to find Wi-Fi is a struggle. So yes, Rob. So I apologize to you, the 8 people watching. You're truly diehards, and I thank you very much, and I appreciate you tuning in to this edition. We're the host club, or the Sharks are the host club. You have to get on. So, I want to make sure that we give you the full coverage as possible. If you haven't checked out our Twitter or Instagram, and for that matter, our Periscope, by all means check it out. We went all over the place today. To kind of quickly start doing everything, the graphics that you saw for the All-Star Game and stuff there for the show tonight, did this morning. Jet down to San Jose, and it was crazy. Alex, let me give you the link, bud. So it'd be great to have you here with me. But crazy day to check out a Game Worn Jersey Expo put on by our Mitch Amaya and Paul Rank. Some amazing hockey jerseys, including Tony Granato's Game Worn jersey he wore in the '97 All-Star Game here in San Jose. So check out our Instagram on that and our Instagram stories. Just a sweet look at hockey history. Even saw a Fisherman jersey, a purple LA Kings jersey, which I thought looked pretty cool, all things considered, of course. So, all right. And so Alex will be coming on in just a jiffy. The Denny's on First has decent Wi-Fi by the time. Yeah, now I know that. Yeah, unfortunately. So let's talk about the anything. If you want to talk about anything of the All-Star Game or your fair, by all means do it. I know AJ Rocket and I think Felix is also going to be doing a special recap show, kind of a pucknologist of sorts, on Sunday. So be on the lookout for that for sure. Anyway, there we go. We got the lower graphic. But let's get at it for the first game, Central versus Pacific. Of course, the hometown boys, Brent Burns, Joe Pavelski, Erik Karlsson in the lineup. They even started in the lineup tonight for the Pacific Division, taking on the likes of Roman Josi, Patrick Kane, the trio of Colorado Avalanche. However, Nathan MacKinnon was out due to illness, so he made the trip. It was like an assistant coach, if you want to say, and got on that there. So let's get into it. And it got in early. The starting goaltenders at this one was John Gibson and Pekka Rinne. They would play 2 10-minute halves on the 3-on-3 format, and things got going really quickly. Mikko Rantanen, 103 from 1-0 Central Division. Just look at things to come, unfortunately, on that one. Gabriel Landeskog made it 2-0 Central, and it's like, uh-oh, here we go. And it was a rough night on hand for the Pacific Division, and both goaltenders in the Central, you got to give it up to Pekka Rinne and Devin Dubnyk. They definitely were stood tall to the challenge, that's for sure. And it, let's see what we got here. How is the Fan Access app? Is it really laggy? You know what? I just got home, Rob. I apologize if it is. Hopefully, yeah, it could be an issue here. I don't know. I don't have many things open on my computer, so hopefully that'll be rectified shortly. But hey, the good old AOL connection joke gets to come back into play, right? So apologize for the just one of those things tonight, folks. So moving right along, yeah, we're looking like it's not AOL, it's Xfinity. Yeah, of course. So I'll jump through and do my best. If you don't see my face, then maybe it's not a bad idea. Moving onward. Wait, where's my recap? There we go. And then 4:31 in, a breakaway for Erik Karlsson goes in and scores. The assist goes to John Gibson, of course. So Gibson did something pretty good there. Karlsson's first at 4:51. That brought them in close, 2-1, and that's as close as they would get on in their mini game. So Roman Josi, just 17 seconds later from Patrick Kane, made it 3-1. Then Patrick Kane got one himself from Josi and Wheeler just 23 seconds later at 4-1. At 6:39, just a minute 8 after that, Mark Scheifele from the Jets made it 5-1. And thankfully they took a break, because only a minute 11 after that, Mikko Rantanen scores his second of the game from Landeskog and Josi, 6-1. But then 21 seconds later, Patrick Kane made it 7-1 Central. And I'm not going to lie, folks, they were playing the Vin Scully right now. Yes. 2-2. Curveball low. It's like 7-1. It's like, oh my goodness. I think I even saw some fans actually considering leaving after at the end of the first period. So do I have somebody here with me? Oh, Alex, thank goodness you're here. Thank you. Heyo. Apparently I'm AOL or lagging really hard.
You are like all-time AOLing at the moment.
Yeah, well, a shock, unfortunately. How are you? As I'm recapping the Central versus Pacific, how are you, and what did you see from tonight?
Tonight was decent. I watched the Pacific versus Metro, and that was kind of where I fell off afterwards. I thought it was a really good showing. That was a pretty good week for how San Jose hosted the event. But I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Did they have a choice, or were they stuck with Gibson? They share a period each with
it was Fleury,
Gibson doing one, and then Fleury. Yeah. So the other thing too is I don't know if you heard the broadcast tonight, Alex, but there were chants of the quack quack duck suck, and and we want Fleury in the crowd, and some Bronx cheers when Gibson did make a save. Yikes.
I mean, when you let in that many goals that fast, especially when you're the hosting division, you deserve to get that happen. To let that happen.
Yeah. And not a great showing, but you know what? You get to see the league wide, and that's pretty much how you have to look at it. Is that you get to see the league wide stars in that sense. 1997 is one of those crazy memories, and it'll last a very long time, and in rarity for that matter. I mean, you have 97, and to me, 2016 with John Scott and such. Um, it's one of those things. So,
Yeah.
but getting onto this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I would say the one takeaway, I think the best moment from the weekend was when Austin Matthews took off his Leafs jersey and revealed the Marlowe jersey. But besides that, I thought it was kind of, it was okay. If it was any other team besides the Penguins winning it, that's what's kind of hurts it for me. But it is what it is.
John with a $5 donation to fix my lagging issues. I appreciate that immensely. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love how you're like crystal clear on the feed right now. That's amazing.
I mean, you're always AOLing, so it's all right.
And the worst case scenario, it happened on the All-Star After Dark one. So we'll power through this and make it as not as painful as possible. Second period now. Speaking of painful, Gabriel Landeskog makes 8-1 Pacific. Ryan O'Reilly at 2:30, unassisted 9-1. Landeskog, he gets the hat trick there on that one at 10-1 Pacific, or 10-1 Central. After that, I remember even Marc-Andre Fleury making some great saves on there. And even the first one where they got the Bronx cheer, wave to the crowd and saying, hey, you do feel bad for
Gibson.
For Gibson, because that's just a nightmarish night on North American TV audiences.
Gibson and Fleury are some of the most overplayed goalies. They've had the most starts this season. So it doesn't surprise me that they didn't perform well, but at the same time, I am surprised they didn't just skip for health reasons, because obviously it looked like Gibson, who I thought had an injury, or I guess he's battling through multiple, I guess.
If he is, I give him kudos for coming to All-Star Weekend for sure on that one. Continuing on here, Gaudreau with a nice move makes it a 10-2. You're like, okay, 11 seconds after the Central hits double digits, the Pacific decide, oh, we got to try and score some goals. Okay. Erik Karlsson, a minute 5 later, makes it 10-3. Yeah, you're thinking, maybe 10 seconds later, Brent Burns makes it 10-4. You're thinking, well, it is the All-Star game. You're telling me there's a chance.
Anything can happen, but it was good to see a Wookiee sighting.
Yep. For sure there. Overall, first period, the shots were even 9-9, which doesn't sound good because the Central scored on 7 of those 9 shots. But the Pacific had 22. Pekka Rinne had a great first period. Devin Dubnyk just was crazy on this night for the Central.
At least this round he was. But
that's true.
The highlights that I saw of the finals, I'm like, how did Devin Dubnyk not grab that? But good start from Devin Dubnyk, who I think is the lone Minnesota Wild representative. So yeah, I'm not too sure what to think of the Wild, but he's been definitely one of their better players.
Yeah, we're going to try to do a little video only for a little bit. If not, we'll be sorry, right? Is that how it goes? Let's see. Mariah J. Quick question: does anyone know if Fanfare tickets are good for only one day? If I want to go again, do I have to buy another? Yes, you do, and I would recommend that you do it before midnight because the price goes up the day of. So make sure you do that. Oh, racist rock fan rocks for. Can the Condors be the NHL? The Oilers be the AHL team? No, no, no. We don't want to do that. Uh, do you think it's because we hate the Ducks and Penguins and Knights that both goalies play bad on Sharks ice? No, no, they want to do it. Uh, let's
Yeah.
see. And I'll ask you this, since you saw the coverage of it, what did you think of the puck and player stat tracking on the broadcast?
I thought it was really cool with Brent Burge's goal. It looked really minimal, which was nice to see, but I didn't really notice it until they kind of pointed it out. Um, it's gonna be interesting what's gonna happen next year. I know they kind of talked about that at during the commissioner's All-Star press conference. Uh,
Right.
that's really, I think they were just kind of experimenting what they could do and what they can't do. Uh, which you can practically do anything for an All-Star game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so um, I was kind of surprised they didn't show more GoPro footage or the referee cam. So that's maybe I would like to
Yeah.
see something on the national broadcast more as the referee cam or referee perspective. I guess that would be. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe in the future you see those angles, but I definitely think it's a good starting point for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things I heard tonight was that it might even make real time stats even more real time, just on everything. The puck tracking is interesting. I think the one thing that they do need to have is maybe some sort of sensor, um,
When they
like on the
cross the
goal line or
yeah.
something, or yeah, something like that. In the long run would be I think beneficial, but that one's tough just because the goaltenders can be, behind the goal line. It'd be tough for them to block it, uh, and then have an issue with that. But I digress on that one.
Yeah, I think it's cool to go to the replay, but at the same time, I think it's kind of ridiculous to go to the cam and it doesn't have to cross the entire line. Of course, it does, and just eliminate the BS. So that's one thing I would like to see if they ever go down that line. But it might be just good to have it for just drama reasons and not to have it.
Yeah, I think it adds a little effect to it, in my opinion. There, so the Central totally destroys the Pacific, 10-5, or what is it, 10-4. They move on to the championship game, but they need to find an opponent, and that be Metropolitan or the Atlantic. Of course, 15 seconds in, I think it was part of his contract for doing the game, folks. Sidney Crosby just like had a parting of the Red Sea. 15 seconds in, he scores 1-0. I mean, like, I'm sorry, it's the NHL All-Star game, yes, but at the same time, you guys are leaving Sidney Crosby wide open. Come on now.
Yeah, it looks pretty easy. Um, yeah,
So
no, I mean,
that was
it was an easy walk a win or easy MVP award for Sidney Crosby, which is not surprising.
yeah, but kind of go over everything. Seth Jones at 156 from Palmieri and Atkinson, 2-0 Metro. And then the Atlantic would get going. Eichel at 204, Stamkos at 313. Seth Jones would add in an unassisted goal at 940. I mean, this one was a competitive one early on and really got the crowd into it. And the Atlantic, going into the second period, had a lead. They had 2 goals in 32 seconds from Jeff Skinner and one of the guys that got a lot of boos, John Tavares at 128, 4-3 Atlantic. But yeah, let's talk about the booing a little bit. Fellow Sharks fans, wow, we were booing like crazy these last couple of days.
I thought we were all Canadians. Always said sorry. I mean, it wasn't that the San Jose motto. We're always peaceful. We never pick a fight. Isn't that our motto? God. But it's the All-Star game. You can do whatever you want as long as you don't throw stuff on the ice.
Like we had for Catfish.
I think Tavares knew once he got selected that frankly that he knew he was going to get some boos even during the All-Star festivities. He was going to get some boos. It's cool. As long as they play around with it, that's fine. But I think if people become too serious with it, that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah. And that's the weird thing about it is that it wasn't like he was already here and left. It's not that in the past where we talked about Belfour who was here and then left. Brian Campbell, he was here and left. It wasn't like that with him. So moving onward, Sidney Crosby would start the comeback. He got his second of the mini game between the Metropolitan and Atlantic at 3:37 from Letang, and about nearly 3 minutes later to make it 5-4, and that's when they would take over Sebastian Aho for 808, and then Cam Atkinson slap shot in an empty net to finish it off 7-4. The Metropolitan would go on to take on the Central in the championship of it. I gotta say, there are some nice goals in there. Stamkos's goal was pretty
good.
Between the legs, disrespectful. I know Adam Oates was in the San Jose weekend. He probably thought that was disrespectful.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I'm cool with those highlights. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, I wish they had more of those creative goals. Right, I thought the goals were all decent, but just kind of weak ones that were kind of just poor.
Right. A little interesting on that one. If we get JT, we don't get EK, and I will take EK Lance Fletcher in the chat. So, John, SJSharks scored twice. That was funny thing is that the mascot game, Sharky scored twice and almost had a hat trick at the same time. And the funny thing is, I also heard in the crowd tonight, it's like, wow, Erik Karlsson scored 2 times tonight. He almost matched his output for the entire season in one game.
Yeah, that's true. Did they do anything for Owen Nolan?
During I think the first commercial break, where I think it was like right around when Karlsson scored, they went to that first commercial. They had honored him with a live tribute. It's almost like he was like returning from the San Jose as a former player.
Yeah,
and definitely it's definitely a nice touch. They showed his called shot. They even showed the 2 goals that he scored in 8 seconds. Which is still an all-star record, and a lot of people don't notice it because of everybody sees the called shot. But very nice ovation from the crowd at the tank. So, Alden, did I miss the part where everybody talked about how god awful the national anthem singer was?
That I missed, so I need to go back and.
Yeah.
Look, is it
highlight stuff to do? I'm just gonna put it that way.
Is it highlight bad or is it just average?
You go back and listen to it and go, oh my god, bad.
Okay.
All right. But I digress. Going to the championship game between the Metropolitan and the Central, it's like Penguins and Blackhawks, like the league probably wants. It was one of those ones where it's like, oh gosh, Sidney Crosby and Patrick Kane and the Hawks. Like, no. But it was a great. What was that?
Oh, I'm just reading the comments. The senior show told Fergie to hold her beer.
Wow. Come on. Let's be nice, gang. Come on. Jeez. BB Rexa, actually, you know what? Pretty good. It was pretty good. I can actually hear her outside, so it was pretty good. So I'll give him that. Matthew Barzal, 22 seconds in, gets things going for the Metropolitan. The Islander gets an assist from Letang and Crosby. 1-0. A minute and a half later, Giroux with a nice move. Carlson, Letang, his second of the game. 3-0. Palmieri, his first from Jones and Aho. 4-0. Crosby, his third of the night. 5-0. Metropolitan at 9:55. Yeah, 5-0 Metropolitan after one period of play. My goodness. Central, if you're watching, it's okay to try to make a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
That's for Jen. Alden in the chat, sing it straight. Yeah, I know. Moving along to the second period, the Central started to realize they had a shot at this thing. Landeskog, his fourth of the night, 5-1 Central at 1:15. At 3:25, Rantanen from Colorado. So the Colorado guys did a pretty good job making it 5-2. Crosby gets his fourth of the game from Barzal to make it 6-2 at 4:02. O'Reilly, a former Av, gets his second, makes it 6-3. Aho is second at 5:35. 7-3 Metro. Cam Atkinson, who also had a nice night from the Columbus Blue Jackets, 8-3 Metro. Barzal, his second, 9-3 Metro. And that's where things started to fall off. However, Rantanen, his fourth of the night at 8:30, 9-4 for the Metropolitan Division. Blake Wheeler, 20 seconds later, 9-5. They pulled the goalie, and Cam Atkinson gets the hat trick there. 10-5, that would be your final. And Sidney Crosby walks away with MVP honors for his 4-goal night. Do you think it went? To the right guy? I mean, put your bias aside and everything, but
Look, I think Sidney Crosby is still a pretty good player, and having 4 goals in an All-Star game is going to get you. Even if it was like on ABC, even if it was on a lower network, it still would have gone in. It still would have given him the MVP. As much as I despise what happened during the Stanley Cup Finals and going through that scenario again. Honestly, I think All-Star games are cool to watch, but I'm not going to put anything on the impact of this game on the season going forward. I heard people talk about Gibson is the new, Rene from last year, who seemed like his game dipped afterwards, but we'll see if that's the case. There's always something, some All-Star effect that lasts a couple of months.
And you make a good point there, because it's going to be interesting to see after this nightmare. You wonder if it might carry over into the once they get going again. I think the league starts opening back up on the 28th, because that's a tough one. And in an All-Star game where you allow 7 goals on 9 shots, that's a little rough. And I do feel bad for him, because that is an All-Star game. You're supposed to hang out, and that's a tough one.
I think it's cool to watch it, but at the same time, like if there's other things on, like I'll watch that instead of the All-Star game. But the All-Star Game is a cool event to promote the league, and that's what it's kind of there for. I'm glad, unlike baseball, there isn't anything weighted on it. So like home field ice or home ice advantage isn't weighted on it. So that's another reason why I don't really care about it too much. But I think San Jose did a really good job hosting it. The ice rink was the convention center seemed like it was pretty packed. I didn't go, but I've seen a lot of great things coming out of that.
Yeah.
I think the only real news that came out of All-Star Week is that the players in the NHL seem like they're closer than we thought from a bargaining agreement.
Yeah, which is something we really haven't heard. It's really interesting, and I hope that gets remedied pretty soon because that's the last thing this league needs.
Yeah, the way that the owners have been structuring contracts have been really preventing, I think, another lockout with 8-year deals like Jones and Kane. Seems like that's across the league been the case to prevent players from going to the lockout. But in general, I think we're closer than we really did. From a player's point of view, or even from the owner's point of view, I think they thought they were at least closer to a deal than we thought 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So
John asking what was up with the PK Subban late night talk show. I don't know. He's got the personality for it, though. I definitely want to check that out. I didn't get a chance to see that. So
that was at the Improv.
Rob Iman, apparently it was, which was quite interesting, and hope he had fun with that because that did saw little bits and pieces there, and I thought that looked pretty cool. Rob Iman, that's really good news. If I were the NHLPA, I'd look to decertify if they were to lock out again. Yeah, and we don't want to go into that mess, but they do have contracts to clear it out. What would be interesting too is if they were to get anything done pretty soon, they could perhaps get that World Cup of Hockey back in, and we'll see how that goes. But Olympics I think will also be one thing they would talk about.
Yeah, I think that's the next bargaining chip, or what the players want in return is the freedom to do the Olympics. But I just don't know, because I don't think the league could ever stop for 3 weeks. Is it 4 weeks? How many weeks for the Olympics? It's like
It's about
2 to 3 weeks.
It's like 2.5 weeks, and
Yeah.
and depending on where they're at, whether it's Vancouver in 2010 or Salt Lake City in 2002 or Sochi and Pyeongchang, you got to get them to fly all the way over and then fly all the way back. So we'll see. Fingers crossed that we are going to not have a labor stoppage in the NHL. It seems like I think the Sharks in their history, I mean, their inaugural season, there was a players' strike. 94, they come off their best season ever. There's a lockout, 04, cancels the season in 05, and 2012-13. So
Was the musical halftime show better than last year? How about that?
you're comparing Kid Rock to BB Rexa there.
Is BB Rexa have better than Kid Rock?
She wasn't bad. I'll say that. I thought she was pretty good. BB Rexa. So I don't know.
It wasn't.
But
It
a
was.
lot of people go BB Rexa who?
Yeah, that was my reaction. Like, ooh, but sounded decent.
Yeah, and Alden's like, we left to drink beer on the concourse. A lot of people did. In fact, unfortunately, I saw a lot of people leave. After in the intermission, I think they thought that there was just those two games, and
this also was a home field,
and then the concert, and that was it.
So
So
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of the Sharks fans left after the Pacific lost when there was a opportune
yeah,
time.
and I'm kind of surprised they didn't put the Pacific on in the second game uh, to keep the home crowd around. I think that was a little bit of a mistake there, for sure. So, well, unfortunately, I wish you can get to the fanfare. It's open tomorrow from 10 to 4. This is your last chance to get in there. Tickets are still available at nhl.com/fanfare at the McHenry Convention Center. So definitely uh, go check that out if you're able to, because it's something special to enjoy and watch and experience. So, uh, with that, did you have anything to add, Mr. Al?
I got nothing. It was nice having a
Uh,
little bit of break, but I'm looking forward to whenever the Sharks come back. I think the first game's on Tuesday or Wednesday.
uh, the league gets back on the 28th. The Sharks are now officially on their uh, Players Association bye week. They don't return until February 2nd against the Arizona Coyotes. So
You said the
that'll
wrong.
be
It's the Desert Dogs. Let's put it that way.
oh, Drake. Yeah. So yeah, the Sharks take on the Desert Dogs on Saturday, February 2nd. That game time is at 30 p.m. You can get tickets at sjsharks.com for that one. I wonder if there is a promotion for that. I thought there was, but
And
I'm
then
not.
after the Coyotes game, they go on a 4-game road trip. Yeah, 4-game road trip. All West Coast teams or West Conference teams.
Yeah, no giveaway on the second, but yeah, you're right. I think they do have they have a bit of a road trip. Yep, they go, so they have the home game against the Coyotes, and then they jump right back on a plane at Winnipeg, at Calgary, at Edmonton, at Vancouver. 4 game stretch in the Western Canadian teams, which is nice to have, and they work their way back, which is nice. They fly all the way to Winnipeg, and then make their way back. Though it should be quite an interesting night there. So Al, I thank you for joining me as always. Appreciate it. Final thoughts from you and where the people can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Al Martinet. Free to talk hockey, free to talk the All-Star game, free to talk anything. Just you can even slide in my DMs. How about that?
Whoa. Wow. Slide into Alex's DMs for that. The app is the NHL Fan Access app, and what you're seeing from in the chat is a very good point. The thing with the chat is that the line for the Stanley Cup is long. It's pretty popular. I'll tell you that for sure. So definitely check out on the app. You can kind of, I don't want to say reserve your spot in line while you enjoy the rest of the uh, the rest of the stuff around. And trust me, there's a lot to do. Hockey Hall of Fame like virtually brought all the trophies over to San Jose, like the President's Trophy, the Campbell Bowl, the winner of the Western Conference. So the Sharks have a uh, you know their little plaque right in there for that one. You also have the mascot showdown. Speaking of the mascots, uh, the uh, uh, the mascot game, the Western Conference won. So apparently, there's going to be a skills showdown at the mascot showdown tomorrow. So go ahead and get out there for that. Sharky and the other 28 mascots will be there. So definitely, if you haven't hit it now, because who knows when this is going to happen again. I mean, to quote Hockey Drink tonight, this is a twice in a lifetime event. So it might be a while before it gets back. So do you have to show this off? Got a nice discount at the Shark store for this because it had a little bit of a spill, but the perforated numbers there, use some nice little access to that. And I will say this, I found this in the as I was heading out. I found this as I was headed out, and I was almost tempted to actually do it, but I found a ticket for the post party that's at the convention center, but I'm too nice of a guy to try to take chances on it. So in case you missed anything, you want to watch this again, you go check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher. This is going to be a YouTube only thing, so make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, smash that bell. That'll notify you when we go back on the air or when we draw there. I think there's going to be some recap of the All-Star game with AJ, Rocket, and Felix potentially tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. And other than that, we're going to kind of take the bye week ourselves, kind of get our juices flowing and kind of get recharged as we hopefully have 4 more months of hockey to talk about.
Amen to that.
Alex, thank you. Yeah, right. So we're going to get some rest. And so am I. It's been a long 3 days, but enjoying hockey heaven. And I hope all of you have as well. So be on the lookout for all the stuff on our Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. Hope you enjoyed it. I driven back and forth from Concord to San Jose 3 times this week in always. So with that, for everyone here, thank you for watching. We will see you Saturday night against the Desert Dogs. And until then, keep it real, keep it